we're back. So now for the next step, we're going to figure out how to actually edit this raster layer of impervious surfaces to better match whatever year that you're working with. And I realized that the combination of the zone that I picked and the year that I'm working with, we've got all this sort of empty space. And I think that'll happen for a few of you. So I would say just don't worry about it and don't try to edit anything that's outside of the extent of whatever imagery you're using. And I think that this is only going to be an issue for those of you who are using the 1962 data. So just don't worry about it. Don't edit things in that area. So let's start. So make sure that we're clicked on imp Z162 or whatever that is for you. And then we're going to go up to imagery up here. And then we're going to go into the pixel editor. This is how we're going to accomplish this whole task. So, all right, pixel editor is open. And let's zoom way in like we did before. Let's actually just go 1 to 5,000, the same resolution that we've been trying to work with all along. And I'm actually going to bring back in from the catalog, let's see, where are we? This zone 1 that I created in the last video. And I'm going to go back into the symbology. So I just clicked on here. And then I'm going to go back into symbology over here, go to properties. And I am going to make that no color as a fill. And then let's just make it a red outline. Hit apply, just so we can, okay, good. Now we can see the edge of the zone that we're working with. So it's a little easier. Okay, we're in the pixel editor. Make sure you go back, select the layer that you're trying to work on here, the raster. And what we're going to do is use this reclassify function. So you can click on that, and I'm actually going to click on the drop down, and we want to do reclassify by region. So we're going to draw these polygons that's going to change basically like change the values in the raster from either porous to impervious for areas that maybe used to be houses but aren't now, or the majority of what we'll actually be doing is changing things from impervious back to porous. But we're going to do that by reclassifying region so that we're drawing polygons to do it. So what we want to do is right here, we want to take current class and change it to a new class. So we can start with current class, and I think the way to do this is just to do it as any, but I guess what you could do is select what you want to go from. So say, okay, I want to go from just impervious surfaces and turn them into porous surfaces. You can do that, but I think we can just stick with any, and then it's not going to matter. But let's start with going any to porous. So I'm at 1 to 5,000, and now I'm looking at this raster layer. So where it's purple is where in 2011 it was impervious surface. But back in this historical imagery, as you can see in this corner, the only thing that's actually impervious is the road that was there. So what I want to do is, okay, so right here, see in this corner, that's definitely in the 62 imagery, that's not a house, that's just a field. So all we actually have to do is we have reclassify selected up here. Make sure you have that. All you have to do is click, click, dink, dink, as Jeff would say, and then double click to draw a raster, or to draw a polygon, and then look at that. What we just had there just disappeared. Just pretty sweet. And so we can do it again here. Double click, gone. This whole guy, gone. It's super, super easy to edit the geometry like this, and it's fast. So what you're going to do is just kind of cruise through this and take any areas that you saw that were impervious in 2011 but shouldn't be impervious in whatever year you're looking at, get rid of them. And you can see that like this doesn't take me very long. I think what I can do also is when we need to pan around, if you hold down the C key, this is a good shortcut that Bill showed me earlier today. So on your keyboard, if you just hold down C, you'll see that the cursor, or the hand comes up, and you can use that to just pan around. So we're still in this tool. As soon as you let go of C, it comes back up with our polygon drawer. But when you hold C, it's going to allow you to pan around, which is super helpful. So what you're going to need to do is just go through your whole thing and do this, removing the geometry that is not supposed to be there from the impervious layer. And if you mess up, or if there's impervious surfaces that were present in whatever year you have but aren't present now, let's see if I can find one of those. Hit C, scroll around. I want to find like a building or a house or something that was there. Okay, here's one right here. Building that was present in 62 but was not there in 2011. For this one, you can probably actually zoom in a little bit, so it's a little easier, but you can just go D, D. Oh, sorry. I forgot to change one thing. So before you do that, so when we're trying to add back impervious surfaces, you got to go back up here into the reclassify panel, change this porous, the new class, to impervious, all right? And then we can draw our polygon, double click on the last vertex, and then look at that. We just pulled back up an impervious surface, and we can do it over here too. Cool. There we go. Now we're recreating impervious surfaces so we can be a little more accurate. And that's pretty cool. So like we can do this over here. Look at that. This is like a big driveway kind of deal. Okay, done. And obviously I haven't edited any of this to get rid of the impervious stuff. But I think that in reality, this won't take that long. And oh, look at this. This is actually kind of cool. This is Exchange Street right here. You can see in 2011, there's so much development up here, but there's like pretty much nothing. So check this out. This is going to be kind of fun. And I know that I'm doing this for somebody else's layer, but don't worry about it. Like, do your own. I'm just going to delete what I've done here after I finish the video. But right now, I'm just giving you a fun example of getting rid of all of the Exchange Street stuff. Oh, look what I did. I forgot to change back porous. Ha, let's try that again real quick. But this is actually a good example. If you do something wrong that you don't want to do, you can open your edits log. And then I think the last one that you did, can you get rid of it? You can if you double click. Hold on, I'm going to pause and see if there's actually a way to undo something that you did wrong. All right, so unfortunately, it would appear that there is not a way to undo an edit that you made. So I just kind of went back through and it just changed back to whatever class I wanted it to end up in. So in this case, I went back for the whole Exchange Street area, went back to porous, and then just re-outlined it. So if you mess up, that's what you're going to have to do. You're just going to have to go back to new class, change it to whatever you want to be, and then draw the polygon and erase or build impervious area where you need it. So when you're done with all that, I would save your edits periodically. Like when you've done some work and then don't want to lose it, you can just hit save. So here I'm gonna save it, save all those edits that I made, and you can do this multiple times throughout your work. Wait for it. Not quite sure why it's taking so long. I'm going to pause. Okay, that didn't take that long, but didn't really want to wait for it while we were in the middle of this video. Okay, so once you've done that, once you've edited your impervious layer to match whatever year you're working with, I don't think it'll take you that long. The raster editor tools, the pixel editor, as they call it, is it's pretty easy. Works pretty well so far, but only if you're actually on your C drive. So that was the key part of this, was figuring out to move our projects to our C drive. So once you're done editing and you have saved your edits, you can close that pixel editor to get out of that. And we have this layer that's going to be in your GDB on your C drive. So just leave that there. But I want you to do one other thing before we close up shop for the weekend. And that is going to be going back into your catalog here. And whatever you named that feature, the fields that you were digitizing the other day, So I digitized with Jenny the Cornwall part. So we all just named this kind of random things, whatever. It may have been like ag from training or like ag or ag 2, whatever. I want us all to rename that to something that Bill and I can easily go through. So first things first, let's remove it from our map. And then over in your catalog pane on the right-hand side, just take that file. I named it ag, but whatever. And right-click on it and hit rename. And then what I want you guys to do is name it ag, just lowercase, underscore, just like we did with the other one, whatever you're working on. So I was working on Cornwall. So Jenny, you can do yours Z7. And that's what I'm going to do too. Z7 for the little Cornwall zone or whatever zone you're working with, underscore the year. So I did 62. And then you can hit return. There you go. So now in here, we've got 2 layers that are sort of your final products. The impervious one, underscore zone, underscore year, and ag, underscore zone, underscore year. Those will be in your Lab 1 GDB on your C drive. So once that's all done, we're going to be all set for this. So project save right here. Saving your project. Okay, so now we're all set, all done. And make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. So close that project, get out of ArcPro. And then one last step is I want you guys to take the stuff that you did on your C drive and move it back into your W drive so that Bill and I can access it. One other thing to note is if you don't finish this at one time, you're going to have to come back to the same computer that you were working on. Because when we store it on the C drive, it gets stored on the actual machine itself. So it matters which one you're working on. Which is a little bit of a pain, but since we're going to move the stuff back to the W drive right now, it won't end up mattering too much unless you have to stop midway through your process. But here's how we're going to move it. So go back into the File Explorer, and then first things first, let's delete the one from our old C drive, or the old one from our W drive, excuse me. So GIS home folder, go into there, go into GeoG 310, and then delete the Lab 1 that is in your W drive. Delete. Yep, I am sure. Coming along. Okay, cool. All set. And then I'm going to open a new window. File Explorer. And then make sure we've got that 310 open. Shouldn't have much in it. Maybe nothing in it, I guess, if Lab 1 is all you had in there. Now we're going to go back to Documents. There's our Lab 1 that's on the C drive that we just edited. And I'm going to take that, boop, drop it back into the W drive. And that'll let Bill and I access it so we can compile all the data in the end. Other things to note, when we're clipping that impervious surface layer to your zone, we're not getting any overlap with the other zones, which is fine in this case. Just a note, because that's a little different from the way that we were doing the agricultural fields. Just don't worry about that too much. Yeah, and I think that's it. So let's, for now, just in case something messes up, let's leave that Lab 1 folder on the C drive. And also in the W drive. So we have 2 copies now that are edited versions. And that's it for the day. So thanks for bearing with me. I know this is not going to be anywhere near as quality as Jeff's videos, but I hope that it was helpful. And let us know if you have any questions. And remember, if you can get this done by Tuesday before class, that would be great. Thanks a lot, and see you guys soon.